Well, as the country celebrated Youth Day yesterday in remembrance of the youth of 1976 who fought for the right to access education with English as the medium of instruction in their schools, the young people of today have their own challenges that seem insurmountable. Access to education has been a crippling issue for many, and some of those who've managed to attain qualifications see no light at the end of the tunnel. Now, data from Stats SA published in May 2023 shows that the overall number of jobless youth is sitting at 4.9 million. The data covers the age range of 15 to 34-year-olds. Let's speak now to DA Youth Federal Leader Nicholas Nyati, ATM Student Movement Deputy President Totlisang Mvimbi, and Wits SRC President Aphiwe Mnyamana. A warm welcome to all three of our panelists this morning. Thank you so much for joining us on the Weekend Report. Nicholas, let's start with you. I don't think we've ever seen a more subdued, downcast, low-spirited youth in perhaps a decade. What are young people saying when they're speaking to you about, the top-of-mind issues that are really, really concerning them? Nicholas, can you hear me? All right, Aphiwe, let me throw that question to you. All right, it appears that we're having some connectivity issues. Totlisang, let me try and ask you the same question. Hopefully you can hear me. Talking about that subdued, youth cohort, you can't hear me.
Audible enough.
All right. Let's go back to Aphiwe. I wonder if you can hear me now and if you are able to answer that question. What are some of the pressing challenges, issues that have been raised in circles and conversations and debate around youth challenges?
I think if I've captured your question correctly, greetings to you, Ndogozo, and greetings to South Africa at large. I think challenges about youth, like there are basic challenges. We have issue for us students is access to education and it's youth and unemployment. I think those are the big challenges which as young people we face.
Aphiwe, are you still with us?
I'm still with you. I don't know if you want me to elaborate further or...
Please do, because I think we just lost you there for a second.
Okay. I think if I heard your question correctly, we asked about the challenges that us young people are facing. Yes. I think those are, we have issues of high unemployment rate. I think South Africa is one of the highest countries, even in the G20, which has the highest unemployment rate, youth unemployment. I think it ranges to 46, something over 46% of young people are unemployed. We have issues of access to education. 8 years into democracy, accessing education is still something which is a challenge for young people. Education, I don't mean colleges only. I think TVETs and universities. We have even load shedding. Load shedding does affect us as young people. We have a group of young South Africans who are unskilled. One of the biggest challenges which we face, being unskilled as youth.
Right. When you look at political parties right now in the fray, trying to respond to the issues that you have just elucidated for us, do you find that they are speaking to the number of issues that you've raised? Do you find that political parties are in touch with the realities, the lived experiences of youths on the ground and are appropriately responding to those concerns?
No, to be quite honest with you, I don't think that they are in touch with what's happening with youth. I think what's happening in South Africa, we just have conferences or seminars which try to sanitize young people and our issues. For example, the issue of NFSAS. Still accessing NFSAS is a challenge. One of the criteria for you to be eligible to have NFSAS, which is one of what the country has made us to access education through. For you to access NFSAS, the criteria says that you must be a SASSA beneficiary, but there are people who are SASSA beneficiaries who have issues with accessing NFSAS. So I don't think the current government is doing anything with it. They just host programs, host seminars, but nothing tangible is happening.
Right. Well, Nicholas, I'd like you to respond to what Aphiwe is saying. You are a youth leader for the Democratic Alliance. Talk to us about, this narrative, this experience that young people have of, political parties, not just a party in government, but opposition parties as well, that are essentially failing the youth and how they're responding to some of the issues that they're raising.
I think young people in the Western Cape will differ with Aphiwe. I think independent entities like Ipsos will disagree with Aphiwe. I think the last quarter report from the Auditor General will disagree with Aphiwe. If you look at the jobs that have been created in South Africa, 98% in the last quarter come from the Western Cape. And that speaks directly to governance. When you govern well, it is easier to attract investment. It is easier to...
What the hell is happening?
Nicholas? All right, it appears we've lost Nicholas Nyati responding there to a question posed around how opposition parties like the DA are responding to some of the issues raised by the young. I can throw that same question to you, Totlisang from ATM, the African Transformation Movement, a political party that is really determined to try and pull black people out of poverty and into a better quality life. Is enough being done to address issues around something as simple as access to education, and something as simple as young people who have qualifications but still can't access jobs? Totlisang?
Thank you, Ntokozo, for having me. And if I've captured your question very well, we have the educational system, which was always the problem in the 1976, because the very same youth of the 1976 was fighting for the Bantu education. And up until now, of 30 years of democracy, there still hasn't been change even now. So the educational system of South Africa is still not doing enough, or the current government is being ignorant about it. In terms of the unemployment, now we have like 74.6 unemployment rate. We have youth that's sitting with many qualifications at home. And this thing is not good, because if now our government can have a responsive curriculum inside primary schools towards high school, that can give the youth something to work on after matric or during, to make a better living for themselves. I'm talking about the agriculture. If a 5-year-old is being taught in agriculture, after grade to matric, they are being able to make employment for themselves, not only depending on the government now, but rather instead as to youth depending on the government receiving the 350 stress relief. Is it enough when the very same youth was supposed to give back to the government? But we can't do that because our government doesn't give the youth the right to make the decisions for themselves. So now we say, is the youth, so now through the African Transformational Movement, it is the right platform that youth of today make the right decision, because this party allocates youth as a party for youth that gives youth a chance to actually make decisions for themselves, because the youth is the capacity of this country and can be able to shape the whole system. I'm talking about the educational system, I'm talking about the very same financial aid, because they say you go to matric, apply for TVET and university. After the very same NSFAS is struggling to apply for students and now is neglecting that shit. That's leading to what? That's leading to many students deregistering under the TVET colleges and universities. So now, is it fair for the black or the black youth? No, it is not fair. So right. Through us, if we want to, thank you.
Yeah, Totlisang, I just want to give Nicholas an opportunity to respond because he was cut off. Nicholas, both your panelists have been detailing for us just exactly why we're dealing with such a downcast and low-spirited youth cohort. The number of issues that they are dealing with are innumerable. Putting forward a Western Cape narrative to say, well, look at what's happening in the Western Cape, I don't know if that's an appropriate response to a national discourse on what is affecting the national youth cohort. But you were in the middle of giving us your response there.
Yes, I think referencing to the Western Cape is the best response that anyone can give, because what that symbolizes is that there is still hope for South Africa. The people of Western Cape, after facing challenges, the similar challenges that are facing South Africa,
Nicholas, are you still with us?
we are going to go to the polls. We need to do as South Africans. For example, Totlisang is speaking about transforming education. There was currently the Bella Bill hearing. Did my young leaders who are in this platform good?
All right, well, we've run out of time, unfortunately, there, and we did have some connectivity issues. We are going to leave that conversation there for now. Up next.